And how's everybody doing in reference to the farms of my great grandparents and grandparents and mother and father and history of things in reference to vegetable farms, poultry farms, uh, cattle, livestock, any type of livestock farms, and flower farms too in reference to flowers and gardening and uh, particulars of things, just saying hello in reference to florists of my mother and father and grandparents' companies, and reference to farms and fish companies. How y'all doing? In reference to vegetable and fruit farms, in reference to whichever ones I might own. In reference to my parents and grandparents, just any product, any business, any history, any type of company that I'm the owner of. In reference to my mother and father, I'm the owner of everything forever. In reference to my mother and father's companies and grandparents' companies. And any person trying to muscle me, any person trying to claim they were trying to buy any of the companies, none of them are ever for sale. Not never, no matter what. Don't forget, my family history is a historic family history of business and farming and product acknowledgments of things in American history. So do not misrepresent that at all. Historic laws, historic family history. And don't forget, there's historic people in other countries too. So whoever came into this country to destroy the history of this country, those people need to get prosecuted. So in reference to, whatever person will say, well, they thought this or they thought that. There was people here before then. People here before your people came into this country, and whatever circumstances might have happened to people back in those days of people that, I didn't have nothing to do with it. My family didn't have nothing to do with it. And if you want to argue it, go to a courtroom. Just make sure you understand, when you make accusations against me and my family, you could end up in prison for the rest of your lives. I'm a good-natured person. I'm not the government. So in reference to government funding of the people, in reference to like welfare or unemployment or benefits, that comes from government. You understand that? So trying to steal my companies or stealing my benefits or my unemployment or monies, or anybody trying to steal anything from me, you can end up in prison for the rest of your lives. You need to choose your scam on somebody else. Because when you're trying to do something to my body, that means you're trying to steal everything of my mother and father's estates. When you've tried to cause injury to me, no matter whether or not you're in government or not, you have to get prosecuted. I'm not your child. I'm not your property. And I'm not friends with people that would cause me scarring or injuries or that would try to rape me or that would try to hurt me or that would try to abuse me in any way. Professionalism is very important in reference to friendships, and there is particular categories of friendships that are, silly, fun, and serious moments, serious situations, people playing jokes or whatever. There's different types of things, but any physical injury or any types of tricks is abuse of them trying to hurt me, them trying to tear down who I am in reference to whoever these bad people are, whether they're in government or whether they're from another country or whether they're from this country or whether they claim they were in competition. Your people trying to injure me is not a competition. It's attempts of murder, 100%. And I'm not going to toy with you. I'm not going to joke around with you if you tried to murder me in reference to the laws that are going to be put on you for your violations, the law violations of your people. You could end up in prison, even if they have to arrest 1,000, 100,000, or even 1,000,000 people. It even says that on Treasury documents. No matter what the amount of people that they would have to arrest to stop them from hurting me or trying to steal from me, or them trying to steal my companies or family history, or them trying to steal my name or my identity, or any of them trying to steal property or land or history, even if there's 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, or even over 1,000,000 people, there'd be legal right to arrest whoever they are. And it says that on Treasury documents. So, in reference to people or political regimes, if you tried to steal from me, you got to go to court. If you blocked me from my mother and father's estates, or you tried to steal from my anatomy, or you tried to steal sperm, or you tried to steal eggs, or you tried to steal, I'm a natural hermaphrodite, so, in reference to many things. If you can't comprehend it because you're too immature and you can't comprehend the factual history of this information, then you just need to do something else with your time besides looking at information about me if you can't comprehend things. And if you're one of the people that's tried to injure me, you need to get prosecuted and arrested. And hello, rice farms, and I'm not sure if I own any rice farms in California or anywhere, but in reference to them, they can make videos. I'm just saying it in the general. Somebody has all the information. I grew up on some farms in California and some other places. And hello, Colorado schools. Somebody wanted to say hello, and hello, Beverly Hills schools, and universities that I went to in cities and states and other places, and hello, Europe and America and Canada, and hello, Mexico, and hello, Asia, and hello, Latin countries and Italian countries, and French, and friendly countries around the world. Hello, in reference to friendly people in Africa, how you doing? And in reference to friendly people in other countries, and friendly people in America too. Hope everybody's doing good. Everybody be aware of the dirty regimes of government that's tried to steal everything from me. See, people don't understand what these people have tried to do. These people are trying to steal my mother and father's estates and companies and grandparents' companies and great-great-great-great-grandparents' companies that I'm the owner of. And nobody else created those companies. My mother and father created the companies. My grandparents created companies. And they might have bought other companies too back then, or whenever, When people went out of business, they tried to help and tried to buy other people's businesses only when they were wanting to sell. We didn't muscle nobody. We let them pretty much run their business the way they did. And that's all. So, in reference to property or land, or situations of things, pretty important. Now, if somebody's wondering why, the point of information in reference to my great-grandparents or grandparents, they owned farms back then too, but in reference to my grandfathers, or grandmothers, when people wanted to sell land or something, my grandfathers was looking for oil in America too. So, they would go to a farm, or not a farm, or just anywhere, somebody's land, and say, they would ask them. They wouldn't go on their land. They would just set up a meeting to have a meeting with them, and say, a business meeting, and then they say, well, they want to know if they could look on your land to see if they could buy, maybe see if there's oil on it. And of course they'd say they'd want to sell their land, because that changes the value of the land in reference to some things, in reference to agriculture. So in reference to my grandparents, they ended up buying a lot of land, searching for oil and searching for kerosene processes. My grandfather had the processes of oil, and that's, they created some processes of oil. But back to the point of kerosene, my grandfather had a lot to do with kerosene oil too, that he created processes for it, and my grandfather's created processes for the oil industry too. If you're denying it, step into a court, man. Step into a court, because there's a lot of people who want to put you people in prison for the rest of your lives for your goddamn lies. These people they said the Germans, No, we don't play this shit. Any German making false accusations, claiming they created shit with their kleptomaniac brains. See, these people, when they see something that somebody does that is good, some German tries to claim they thought they created it. Where they tried to false associate something they did with something else in the everyday life, and then they thought they'd make a connection to somebody's invention or somebody's processes of making something. Those Germans are liars. And those people need to get prosecuted for trying to steal from my family history of companies. And them trying to steal my accomplishments, them trying to steal the accomplishments of my parents and grandparents and great-grandparents, plus the history of my family and family tree. And my family tree information I'm on the family tree of my mother and father. And the family tree is supposed to be in museums, too. like which famous people I was related to, such as musicians, composers, dancers, opera singers, and inventors and other things. It's supposed to be in a museum, the family tree, and I think I'm not sure if it's probably not. It might be on a website, but it might be on a pay website where you have to pay a few dollars. But at the museum, I'm not sure if they incorporate that with the museum fee, or it might be a separate, $5 fee or something to go in, or $10. I'm not sure. Maybe more than that. Someone might say the Smithsonian said hello. In reference to specific information of which people I was related to, or which people I'm related to in history, whether I'm related to Beethoven or Mozart or any of the other composers and musicians and opera singers and ballet dancers and athletes, and family history of the family tree of my parents, because I'm the last of the family tree. I'm the only child of my mother and father. So, it's very important that, the museums put together that. And there are some museums that my parents owned and grandparents owned, and libraries in America. And those libraries and museums need to reflect the information of certain things about my ownership of museums or my ownership of libraries. Just in case a president man was trying to say they got a presidential library. Well, I have a royal library in America too. Don't forget, I come from a family tree of royalty, of American royalty, first world country royalty, not third world country, first world country. Don't forget, first world country has certain types of resources, certain types of land masses, certain types of history of conduct is what makes a first world country of some things. So in reference to dirty government trying to make up lies or tricks, their activity of trying to get the jump on the people of America with their conspiracy games is treason, and we need those politicians to get ordered into court. And the American people, there's importance that people converse with each other on a certain notation of information to stop the criminal invasion of certain invaders that tried to invade America, and people that tried to overthrow the country back when they did, and what they have been doing since. The Constitution's been there the whole time, since 1780 something, 81 or 82. So in reference to government man trying to play tricks, government man can't say that he was a government before that, now can he? Can't say that he was a government man before 1780 something or 81 or 1776 in the Declaration of Independence, whoever some of these people are. The ones that are trying to play tricks, I'm not sure if there's anybody still alive from 1776 that might be hiding somewhere. There might be. Wouldn't doubt it. But that person's probably looking at the country and saying, what the hell are these invaders trying to do? But anyways, there's a history of people that's been in this country in reference to certain people. The deportation system in America is going to be more poignant and more appropriate in the future too in America, where certain races or ethnicities that cannot conduct themselves appropriately, of different, whether they're white, black, or in between, that cannot conduct themselves appropriately, and they were conspiring with government Nazis or government thieves trying to steal America. They hit me in the teeth just right there, just now. And that hurts real bad. But it's kind of like trying not to show too much of expression when you're making a video, you know what I mean? Because they'll do that every time and try to make your face look like it's some animatronic doll. They try to make... You've seen those TikTok videos? And that hurts my face when I do that. And my upper lip. But anyways, point of information, the deportation system in America is going to be probably more stringent. And it's going to be based a lot on crimes and government manipulations. There's going to be politicians getting deported when they're faking their identity in America, they're faking their ethnicity in America, they're faking their religion in America. There's going to be deportation and criminal charges. But, you know, if they're a certain race running for office and they're connected with somebody else that's been in office that has tried to steal from me or tried to steal my land or tried to murder me or tried to rape me or tried to steal genetics from my body, they're going to get deported. Their families have to get deported. Or their families can go to prison. Politicians are not untouchable in this country. There's term limits too. But see, politicians, they fake statuses to try to murder off people that outrank them, and then they try to claim that they thought they were above people that outranked their political parties and their political positions. That's why checking their race and religion. Now, you know for a fact the highest ranking person in this country and some of the highest ranking people in this country would not be German, and they wouldn't be Middle Easterner either. And they wouldn't be other races either. And you know that the highest ranking person in this country would not be a black person, would not be an African American either. Does everybody understand that? There's a place called Africa. They have some high rank. There's the highest ranking person in Africa is in Africa. The African highest ranking person is in Africa. Right? And same thing with some other countries. You know, it's all based on ethnicities of certain acknowledgments. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's just the way it is, you know. Like the highest ranking person of China is in China, you know. Highest ranking person in Japan is in Japan, you know. Highest ranking person in Mexico is in Mexico, you know. There's a point of every country having their highest ranking people that are in those countries. And then there's people that have status, protection status from other types of people and that are friendly with those countries, are friendly with people. See, I own things that are in certain countries that are used in reference to countries and the shipping industry and the travel industry that no other country owns. Like I own certain technologies that other countries don't own. So I have a status that outranks certain things, you know. Just in case somebody tries to make up lies on me, I own things that they don't own. That they could never own because it's not ever for sale. And anybody trying to hurt me in any way means they're trying to steal those unique things that I'm the owner of. And that is criminal. Like, I own some farm tractor companies, right? That nobody else owns. I own agricultural equipment and tool companies that nobody else owns, right? And technology in reference to media that nobody else owns. So basically the point of information, you know, we know that some people work in certain industries and after a certain period of time, some people get greedy and then they try to falsify and they try to false associate and then they try to claim things that I'm the owner of, is what they have done. They've tried to claim things that my parents created, or they tried to claim things that my parents owned, or my grandparents and great-grandparents and other history, which those particular people are thieves that tried to steal from my family history. That tried to make up false claims, claiming they created things way back when they weren't alive anymore. And then the Germans make up shit that when they murdered people, they claimed that they were the creator of something, and then that's why their government Nazis murdered them. We don't play that shit. You know that, right? So in reference to these government people and their tricks, claiming that when they tried to murder off people, their race always does that. Their race is a bunch of terrorists that are doing these things, whatever race these people are, put it that way. They'll try to murder off somebody and claim that their Nazi party was trying to murder them off because they claim that the Nazis created whatever the person's documented in reference to inventions. Well, I ain't playing that shit. You ever try to steal any of my inventions, you're going to be put on trial for the electric chair. You try to steal my companies or recipes or businesses or copyrights to any invention or product that I'm the owner of, you're going to go to prison. I'm not going to play it. And I know people get excited and they make jokes about certain things, and that's just silly, and that's okay, you know, people making certain jokes. But people stealing my revenues, people causing me physical injury, that's crime. People blocking me from my mother and father's mansions and properties, those people need to get ordered into court. Just telling you, you know, my family was always nice, my grandparents was always friendly, they weren't violent, none of them was. And they got murdered. My parents got murdered because, you know, some people say my parents didn't prosecute these people hard enough. I guess they gave them too many second chances, and it cost my parents their lives. So, you know, if you've tried to hurt me or tried to steal from me or you tried to murder me off because you did something to me before, you're going to need to show up in court. If you've ever seen anybody trying to hurt me or trying to steal from me or trying to abuse me or trying to falsely claim you thought you created things that I'm the owner of, that I created, or you tried to steal revenues or credit cards that you tried to steal from me that I didn't receive, you stole them, didn't receive them, and didn't receive any thing in the mail in reference to any monies or any gifts anybody tried to send, and basic information in reference to certain people. I mean, if you sent something to me in the postal mail, I didn't receive it. What I did receive, I showed, such as, you know, certain, like the little Judy doll, which is deflated now because the satellite man was hitting me in the face and teeth and smashing on my body. So, you know, she's deflated and all wrinkled now. The Judy doll is, because the government man. But the satellite man terrorizing me over sex toys, or his gay obsession of torturing me and spying on me in the shower, burning me with satellites, them popping me in the hip when I'm in the shower. They've done that before. The fact of them trying to murder me when I'm in the shower, them smacking me in the face and teeth when I'm brushing my teeth, these people trying to play dirty games. I've had the #1 dentistry record in America. That doesn't mean dentistry work, bitch. The #1 dentistry perfection history of beautiful teeth. My dentist didn't have to do shit to my teeth, bitch. You and your government race of your government accusators and your mutilators need to get shown up. You need to get thrown in court. You need to show up in court. And they need to check your fucking DNA. You claimed that you were the same race as me and you damaged my teeth. You need to show up in court so you can get executed, you fucking satellite bitch. You and your fucking faggot goddamn government family. You better quit burning my teeth with your fucking satellite. Somebody's gonna chop off your fucking head or something.